Welcome back, everybody. For anybody who is just getting on to edification by identification of the Spirit, thank you for joining. And today, I'm going to continue where I left off on the last lesson, and that is um, tree, because we're finding definitions, which are the spirits that lead you to God. Because you can't live in my house if you don't understand what I'm telling you. If I want to adopt you, so if I tell you, uh, go get me a glass of water, and you come back and you got a glass with water, liquid water in it, and like the glass, like in the earth, then you can't live with me, because that's not what I asked you for. So we're going to learn what these things are as we go along. I have the definition of water in here, but I want to try to give you guys some understanding on the garden of Eden, and the trees that were in there, because those who are learned that the two trees that were in the midst of the garden was Lucifer, and the other tree, which was Lucifer was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And then you had the other tree, which was Jesus. Yeah, he was there back then. He was like he was always in the beginning. And the reason why they didn't, and then I'm gonna tell you why niggas didn't understand that, why Jesus came out of Judah. They don't understand why, but we get ready to go show y'all some stuff about these trees, because this is God's garden. So in God's garden, these trees wasn't the green things you see looking like stalks of broccoli growing out of the ground. That's not. God likened everything to the things of the earth. That's why those are the earth definitions. He likened them that way because he gave the world the shadow of himself, because when he gave us himself, Adam didn't appreciate it. And Eve decided, oh, this also means this when they were talking in the garden. But we going to get into all of that, man. This is some good stuff. So, and y'all going to get thirsty. Y'all going to get thirsty. You're going to be hungry. And I'm gonna try to give you what I can. I'm going to try to give you what I can. Where were we? We are on tree. Spirit. We're going to do the spirit of tree. Okay, Genesis chapter 2, verse 9. Genesis chapter 2, verse 9. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant in the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Okay, so those trees I just described to you, I just told you who they were, and we're going to get to all of that, because once I started learning, I'm like, all right, then why is it? Because back in the day, we was like, well, why would God put a tree with some fruit on it that you ain't want to eat, and then say don't touch it? You guys seen? Look, the world's connected because the Lord sped it up. So you guys seen all the cartoons, all the things on the internet, all the lies about them telling you that, oh, Eve ate an apple and she got knowledge. Where's she get her apple from? Because I've been eating apples for a minute and I ain't get smarter. I actually had to digest some word, because you eat with your mind. So you do everything with your mind. Your whole being comes from here. This is the only thing that we can unlock and be free. And I'm free all the time, because I don't let you niggas put chains on me. No. All right. So the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that was Lucifer, son in the morning. And then the tree of life is Jesus, or Melchizedek. He had a lot of names. The rock, the lamb, the lion. We're going to get to all of those too, because I need y'all to understand why you need to change your thought process. Because remember, I described Issachar, the ass. Okay, so what? You pointed out one thing that the Lord said. What, that wasn't an actual animal. The word animal never even is in the Bible. Like, it's not there. You could Google it. It's just not in there because they weren't talking about animals. So, the next definition of tree. Then, no, this is, I'm just pointing out those trees, but we're going to get to the definition that tell you exactly who these trees are soon. But there's a lot of definitions for tree. I mean, a lot of verses for tree. Okay. 1 Chronicles 16 and 33. 1 Chronicles 16 and 33. Then shall the tree of the wood sing out. What? Then shall the trees of the wood sing out. Sing out? Trees sing? What the hell they doing in it? You see them trees over there? What they saying? What they saying? Alright, well, let's see. Sing out and pray at the praise of the Lord, because cometh the judge. Wait, because he cometh to judge the earth. I apologize. The dark coloring on my highlights is really throwing me off. I apologize. All right, so that's 1 Chronicles 16 and 33. Then shall the trees of the wood sing out, and the princes of the Lord. I'm sorry, in the presence of the Lord, because wait, hold on, I'm still reading it wrong. Can I put this down now? Oh, I done messed up the window. I apologize. Sorry. I'm narcissistic about my whip. Sorry. After I finish this, I'm going to the car wash again. It just is what it is. All right. It says, then shall the trees of wood sing out at the presence of the Lord, because he cometh to judge the earth. Okay, so trees is singing. Who are these? What are these trees? Because we know trees don't sing. And then it says, this is Jeremiah 17 and 8. Jeremiah 17 and 8. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters. You got a key, because it says the key is for he shall be. So it's telling you something. It didn't tell you exactly who, but it says for he shall be as a tree planted by the waters. So you know whatever this tree is living and breathing. We're gonna get all the way down to Jesus. And spreadeth out her roots. But it was a he. You said he shall be as a tree planted by the waters. But then, because there's a comma, and it says, and that shall spreadeth out her roots by the river. Why is it a her now? It was just a he a minute ago. We're going to get into all of this, because all of this means something. And they mean different things. So, because a branch comes from a daughter. I mean, a branch is a split off of a bloodline. So just like you got the military branch and things like that, and then they got their little branches of Army, Navy, so on and etc. They got their little branches. It's the same thing when a branch off of one of these trees branched off. Now, how many trees did you read about in this Bible? How many branches did you read about in this Bible? But first, you need to still know why these trees are trees. Spread out her roots by the river, and shall not see when the heat cometh, but her leaves shall be green, and she shall not be careful in the year of the drought. She shall not be careful in the year of the drought, neither shall she cease to yield her fruit. So this tree is a special tree because even during a drought, she's still going to be yielding fruit. And then, or he, because it says, for he shall be as a tree planted by the water. So why is it that way? Because spirit beings are male and female. They have both levels of knowledge that allow them. That's why you don't have marriage in heaven. There's no point. Because the only reason for being married is for somebody to have the earthly definitions to give to you and your generation. You want me to prove it? Here you go. To give to you and your generation. Everybody in there who has a house. Israel God, ICUC, or whatever, because some, Israel God, great house. The other one, not so great. They flawed. Israel God, they getting up there, they getting these definitions and they're starting to use them properly. Other ones, no. But the point I'm trying to make about this is you guys got your camps. And in your camps, you have a younger generation, younger than yourselves. This other generation is going to be bringing in new definitions that are being used in the world, and then they're going to have to explain their definition to you. Okay? Now, as you get the new definition now from this young generation, because I only know because we use so many different definitions, because I'm from the hood. I'm from Camden, New Jersey hood. Like the hood. So when we speak the way we speak, when I'm just talking to a regular dude in the street, I'll call him a dude right now, but when I'm talking to another nigga in the street versus to me putting on this camera or going to work and being professional and being able to switch up or change my diction based on my environment. Everybody on the planet can't do that. This is you shape-shifting. you shape-shifting your mind to be able to flow and get along everywhere with everyone, no matter what walk of life they're in, because you understand why they are the way they are. And that's your mercy to them. Is your understanding that, all right, it's racist people on the planet. It's people just doing the wrong thing all the time. We destroying the planet, the environment, everything because of these things. All right. And like I said, these scriptures I'm going over are just pointing out some things that if you read, you just seen it yourself. Eventually, even if you read over it a couple times. Look, I took years to get here, so, and I'm a better silent reader. I am gonna keep it gully. I'm a better silent reader than an outspoken reader. I don't know if something ain't clicking right. I don't know, but I know I got what I needed, and y'all don't got it, so better take it. All right, and then Psalms 1 and 3. Psalms 1 and 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the river. Oh, Wait, is that hold on. I just want to see if that's the same one I just read, or is this just it written in another place? This is how you confirm things. Oh yeah, because that one was Jeremiah 17:8, verse 8, and this one is Psalms 1 and 3. And let's see what the difference is, if it says anything different at all. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. Oh, oh, I'm doing it now because this is my fruit. I'm giving y'all my fruit in my season because it's when I feel like doing it. If you notice, this ain't a feast day. This is a regular old day that I decided to say, I'm going to give you niggas a lesson. Wow. Bringing forth his fruit in his season. That's saying something. That just smacked me in the face as I'm reading it to you. Because it is mine to pick it up when I feel like it, and it's mine to put it down as I will. And I give it to whom I will. So, Israel, you better eat it up, because I'll tell you, these Gentiles going to eat this. They're going to eat this. All right. Bring forth. And the reason why it's a he is a reason. We're going to get to all of that. Now, I wasn't even going to read all of these, but I'm going to go through them now because I want to see what is it saying. All right. Brings forth fruit in his season. His leaves also shall not wither. Oh, so it's a him and a her, because he's saying also. So they're saying, yeah, I know what Jeremiah wrote about the her, but his shall not wither also. So if his not going to wither, and hers is not going to wither, these are trees of life. So wait, there's two? How? Because what makes a man, I'm going to give y'all a quick shortcut. What makes a man is he has spiritual definitions. What makes a woman is she has earthly definitions. When you put them together and they figure it out, this is why they go through their congregation and whatnot, then they end up getting both definitions. When you get both definitions, you are then a man. So that means you understand the earthly definition from whatever city she went to go get it from, or the godly definition. All right? So that's where your genders come in, why there's a him and a her, or a he and a she, because when you read the female, you know she only has a certain level of knowledge. And then when you read the male, you know he is limited on his level of knowledge, because then he doesn't. So it all depends on who's telling what portion of the story. You need to be able to perceive. This is your powers you get. You need to be able to perceive and be able to switch from male to female, and then be both. Once you get God's definition, you just both, because you're using God's and Jesus' definition at the same time. That's why the Father is in him and he's in the Father. This is the same with me. Same with you. Once you get enough of these definitions going and you learn how to find this information. Okay. And whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. So whatever I'm telling you is going to prosper. This is my fruit that I'm giving to you, that I dug out of Jesus, and from me eating his flesh and drinking his blood. This is what I got to give to you from him. So no, I'm not stealing it from him, but he gave it to me because if y'all had it, you wouldn't need me to come tell you. And the world definitely wouldn't be like this. Okay, Job 14:7. Job 14:7. For their hope of a tree. Who hopes up? Who hope of a tree? What's the hope? What? For there is hope of a tree. For there is hope of a tree. What tree? If it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that the tender branch thereof will not cease. Okay, let's break that down. There's hope of a tree, the tree of life. We know who that is. We ain't even going down all of that. If it be cut down, which he was, that it will sprout again, and it will, and it has. I'm giving you definitions today. And that the tender branch thereof will not cease. And Israel is walking around this day. And if you don't believe me, there's plenty of just YouTube it. They all over. Look at Israel, and you'll see real Israel ain't dressed up like Power Rangers. That's all. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Real Israel don't have a ranking system inside of them. They're not numbered. Other than those that are supposed to be doing their jobs. But they don't respect the person. Those the houses I allow you to eat from. Because they'll eventually give you enough definitions to get here. And you'll still get the definitions from the stories they're telling and the rhetoric. You're going to get a bunch of information. You'll learn what to eat and what not to eat. Okay. The next one is Matthew 7:17. Even so every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. Okay. Now, what is the fruit? The fruit is these definitions. What are some examples of evil fruits? This is silver. Because we broke the 10 Commandments. Have no other gods before me. And make no graven images, man. The minute your ass picked up a pencil and tried to draw something and say that's what this is, or your imagination said, oh, well, a woman bleed for 4 to 5 days, sometimes 7 days out of the month, that's a woman. You just curse that person. You just curse that being. Because now they got the judgment of a woman. Now you think she's Eve, biting apples and giving it to Adam. It's bullshit. Hey, bullshit. This is all fucked up. All kinds of fucked up. So then the next portion of a tree, because all we're trying to really do is get the understanding of a tree. Daniel chapter 4 verse, is this 10? It says 10 through 12, but I only got verse 10 here, I think. Daniel chapter 4 verse 10, because it says read more, and I guess I didn't click it to like extend it to so I could copy and paste it over. Okay. Thus were the visions of my head in my bed. I saw, comma, because I need y'all to know I paused. I saw, and behold, a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height of it, yeah, I don't have the whole thing. And the height of it thereof was great. I don't have the rest, I apologize. But there is a tree in the midst of the earth. Okay. We know there's the tree of life in the midst of the earth. Y'all already got the knowledge of good and evil. That's you living that every day right now. So you was already born into that sin, because the first thing we do is learn how to communicate with the being that has. I wanna crush him, but I don't want to crush him. Okay. Get off my window, please. Thank you. All right. I done lost my train of thought there. All right. Well, it must not have been important. Okay. Revelation 22 and 14. Revelation 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments. Oh, we're back to the commandments again. Wait, I thought the commandments was done away with. No, the sacrifice was done. And I don't want to say the law of animal sacrifice. The law of sacrifice was done. Because, excuse me, we all know they wasn't animals now. Just like these trees ain't the trees you think they are. All right, and Revelation 22 verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they might have the right to the tree of life. So you get, this is the definitions, is the right to the tree of life. Because if you kept his commandments, you knew not to put an image on what a tree was. So now you understand God ain't talking about that thing out there. You see what I'm trying to, you see the key? I'm slowly taking the scales off. You're going to be able to see more and more. And they might enter through the gate into the city. What city? The city of Zion. How do you get to the city of Zion? Well, I just told you, you ain't going nowhere. The only thing you can do is travel in your mind. And in order, I've been in there, and I have one other person, soul on this being, on this planet, that I know for a fact has been in there, because he has the definition sets to get there. It's the only way to get there. And then you get to see what the world's supposed to be like versus what it is. And then, I'm not going to lie, I was depressed for a long time. I probably still am depressed. I don't know. It's rough to, because once you get the vision, you get the sight, and you get to look into the world, and you see who's running the world, what they're doing. Like, it's written the Gentiles going to run the world. Who running the world right now? The Gentiles. They running every, even if the world, they not running the whole world, they running a good, I'll be generous and say 88%. and most of the other percentage I'm giving to the aliens or whatever's living under the water or under the ground or in the earth. I'm giving the other percentage mostly to them, and then maybe a good percent. Because really, even like other nations like Venezuela and all of them is controlled through Gentiles. Why? Because they doing what Gentiles do. They didn't used to live like that back in the day. They didn't used to have houses and things in the civilization the type way it is today. This is because we are built on a Greek-Roman society. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Rome is, I ain't even gonna put that out there yet, because I looked it up a few times, but we know Esau is in the land over in Israel. We know that's Esau, but that's not Esau no more. What do you mean that's not Esau? Because he says, I know who they say, who say they are Jews and they are not. Yeah, they say they Jews, but they're not, and we know that. But they're not Esau no more, but we know they was Esau. How do you say that? Because there's a new Judea over there that ain't us. So That's a key right there. They over there and they ain't us. But there's somebody who took up their mantle that built this civilization that we're sitting on. They have their mantle of Esau. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. Because the only thing I'm sure that I'm 100% certain on is definitions. So me looking into the world, yeah, am I liable to make a mistake? Yeah, but to change is the way to life. So to acknowledge, hey, I made that mistake there, and then move on with the new ideal. That's how Israel, the good Israelite churches are being built up, because they kept figuring out, oh no, we was doing this wrong. All right, let's not do this no more. Let's do it this way, and we'll teach it this way now. But if you don't have the mindset to want to change, you stuck. You one of them in forever darkness. You one of those. All right, and then where are we? Oh, we just did Revelations 22 and 14. And then we're going to go to Proverbs 13 and 12. It says, hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when desire cometh, it is a tree of life. So you could hope, and then the things you hoping for is not there. But then when you start seeing things, you get the desire to want to learn more about it. Like some people is going to want to hear more definitions. Some people's not. They're not going to want to hear it. But always remember, when you get these definition sets, I don't care how many times you read this book. I've read it thousands of times already, because I've been doing this for 10 years. And God gotta, if you going to come to him, and you can't be believing everything you hear and all of these false teachers, or you at least got to be able to identify so that you can filter through the bullshit. So you need these definitions. It's the only way to protect yourself. That's why the Lord said he'll protect you. Protect you from what? Civilization. He'll protect you from these holier than thou beings that, oh, come to my church. Oh, you in the cult. Oh, you doing this. I'm by myself. I don't go into houses. Why am I going to a house? Well, I'm gonna go put a chain on me when there are no chains on me. I'm free for a reason. This is how you guys supposed to be. Once you get all of these definitions, you're gonna be free. And then we're gonna fix this place. Alright, so but when desire cometh, it is a tree. It is a tree. Desireth, when it cometh, it is a tree of life. So wait, there's different kinds of trees of life? Wait, what? So the hope in the Lord, because it says hope deferred maketh the heart sick, which makes your mind sick. Your mind gets sick because you're like, man, everything I'm believing is just, I don't understand it, or it's not coming to me. And then it says, but when desire cometh, that hope that you really wanted come to you, it is a tree of life. So the things that desire is, you want to know what's really going on in this world. And then you starting to get these keys to unlock these words. Because it is a key. It is a key. So when desireth cometh is what unlocked the tree of life. So when you see people getting a desire to hear this, they eating of Jesus. they eating that tree. All right. Revelations, we're going to skip down because I'll be here and it's already 34 minutes. I'm not trying not to go over 40. So I'm going to do this one and then we'll skip down some more to... Okay. So this one is Revelation 22 and 2. In the midst... Oh, Revelation 22 and 2. In the midst of the street... In the midst of the street of it, comma, and on either side of the river where the tree of life... Oh, I'm sorry. Was there the tree of life? I'm going to read that all over again. Which bare 12 manner of fruit, which was the 12 tribes. And yielded her fruit every month. That's when they have their Sabbath moons. You have people, that's graduation day and stuff like that. Because you always had somebody graduating at the end of the month. Because even from the time that you started, you should have people leveling up. And every month, and the leaves of the trees was for the healing of the nation. So the leaves of the trees was for the healing of the nation. Okay. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which beareth 12 manner of fruit, and yielded her fruit every month, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nation. Okay? So now we know who this tree was, right? So we know the tree of life is Jesus, but we're gonna read about it more. So this one is going to be the definition of vineyard and the definition of tree and one out of the 12 versions of a man. For the vineyard, this is Isaiah 5 and 7. Isaiah 5 and 7. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel. So when you read about the Lord's vineyard and his pleasant fruits that he's talking about, he's talking about the house of Israel. So the vineyard equals Israel when you read that word forever. Vineyard, Israel. Garden, Israel. All of that, Israel. Okay? And the men of Judah, his pleasant plant. What? Wait, the men of Judah, his pleasant plant? The men of Judah, his pleasant plant. For the Lord, hold on. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel. And the men of Judah, his pleasant plant. So Judah is a plant? So what are plants? Grass, flowers, trees! Trees, damn it! Trees! Or plants bearing fruit. The men of Judah. His pleasant plant. The men of Judah, his pleasant plant. And then it says, and he looked for judgment, but behold oppression. For righteousness, but behold a cry. Oh, So both trees came out of the house of Judah. The tree of life came out of the house of Judah, and Lucifer came out of the house of Judah. Jesus and Lucifer? How can this be? Different definitions make different men. That simple. So now you learn one thing about Judah, but since we're on Judah, we might as well go on to Lion, because I need you to know about your Lord Jesus. Because Jesus was a lot of things. So what make you think you are who you are? If Jesus was, hold on, let's read about it. I like I said, I don't care what y'all call him. Yahweh Shah. I'm sorry. I don't care what y'all really call him, but I'm just trying to get her done. Oh man, I'm gonna have to hit the gas station. Okay. Revelation 5:5. Revelation 5:5. And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David. So David had a root because David's a plant. That root was that plant, that tree that was Jesus. So the root of David. But the point I'm making here is, when you read about a lion doing something, you just found out who that was. That was the tribe of Judah was doing something stupid or doing something commendable. When you read that a tree wasn't bearing fruit, you know who it was now. You tell it, if I tell a fig tree to get up and go, he gonna go. And I'm talking, yeah. Because now I know who he is and what he is. Who know that? God know that. That's why God know everything. But y'all made fake gods and use your imaginations to make God a Power Ranger when he the smartest being that ever lived, because he created you and what you do and how you do it. To the point where you could predict the future. You know Russia is taking Ukraine back. It's written. They will be whole again. But I digress. So now we are learning what quote unquote animals are. So for that, I'm gonna start a new video because we are online, and we're gonna finish off with we learned that Judah was God's pleasant plant. So all plants that are spoken of, flowers, trees, fruits, are from Judah. All right? And the lion also is from Judah. So I'm going to leave y'all with that, but I'm going to finish this onto a new video. Thanks for tuning in.